Hi there, Leo. It's Jen here. Whoops! From tarotspirit.net. I think you're the only have one other sign left other than you. You're the first one to get the Ten of Pentacles. I am doing your reading, for April 2018. Thanks for joining me. So there's something you or someone close to you been in denial about that is going to no longer be in denial about this month, which is great. Dealing with the elephant in the room, finally seeing something for what it is. Yeah. So if you felt tied to something, there's going to be a cycle that comes to an end. And, the ending of the World card isn't a negative thing. It's often sort of a natural cycle. So, for example, if you go to college and you graduate, there's a culmination and ending and then a new beginning, because now it's like, okay, what next? Am I going to go to graduate school? Am I going to start my career? Like what's the next step? So it's an ending, always an ending and a beginning, the circular symbol here on the card represents that. But it's with the Eight of Swords here, it's like, okay, there may be also some sort of cycle that needs to end, that you've been in denial about, ignoring, justifying, minimizing. And it's time. It's time to take that out and examine it. And this King of Swords will help you do that. So this is an air sign type person, could be a lawyer, but it's someone who's very analytical. He's very factual, math, computer, numbers, wants to see the evidence, wants to see the facts, which can seem cold, but lots of times our emotions come in and add all this other layer of confusion to situation. And he comes through and cuts all that away and just gets to the bottom line. Like, what's the bottom line? This relationship is toxic. It's not healthy. That's the bottom line. I don't care. Oh, but they're really a good person most of the time. They had a hard childhood. They did, you can go back through all the things. And he's like, it's abusive, or it's just unhealthy. You guys are not a good match. And it just like cuts away everything and it gets to the bottom line. And you're like, snaps you out of whatever you've been sort of turning a blind eye to. And lots of times this is our own behaviors, like eating poorly, not exercising, staying in a job we don't like, staying in a situation we don't like, but we've convinced ourselves we have to for some reason, or it's okay, it's right. We've like accepted something we don't want to accept, or we're just not dealing with. Sometimes we don't deal with it because we don't know how to. We're like, say it's a toxic partner. It's like, this is going to go badly if I end it, because they're, you know what I mean? So you just don't even know like how to go there, because things are going to have to be harder before they get better. But something snaps you out of it. And it helps you realize, I gotta have better boundaries. This card is often the miserly card, where someone prioritizes things over, so this maybe will resonate with you if someone prioritizes things over relationships. Like, they're more concerned with how clean their car is than having a nice conversation while you're riding in it. They're worried, did you tap off your feet? Did you don't eat in the car, don't touch anything. I know someone like this. Versus, having a nice conversation and enjoying spending time with someone they're with. But this is really, it's about boundaries. Are they too strong? Are they too weak, how do you set them, which is difficult. And so that's what he asks you to think about. Like, where do I need to shore up my boundaries? Where do I need to have more conviction and standards moving forward, so that I don't get into a situation where I'm like, don't want to deal with something because I don't know how to. But that means having standards, and this is what's tough, especially in relationships, romantic or not. It's like, you want that person to like you. You know what I mean? So you don't want to upset the situation. But, sometimes upsetting the situation doesn't mean you have to do this in a negative way. But if you set some boundaries and someone has a really weird reaction, like, hey, that's like, believe that they may not be respectful of you. And you want to find, and that doesn't mean on your first date you're like, you lay out a list of things, obviously. But as things come up, if you express that you're not comfortable with something and someone else doesn't listen, pay attention to that. Don't justify it, or and have the confidence to walk away or say that's not acceptable, because that shows our own self-respect. And it can be, you can feel vulnerable, like sticking up to that dark side. You can feel trapped, but this is like, no, I'm going to believe in myself and have the strength in myself to not tolerate that type of behavior. You're looking at things differently. That's what the hangman says. You need to look at, in order to maybe see what's you're kind of in denial about, you need to look at things from a different perspective, from a different angle. You may want to talk to your grandparent or your parents or someone with more life experience. They might be able to help you sort things out. Obviously, a counselor or something like that is always a good idea. Look at the doggy. Maybe you just need to get a dog. But maybe someone else, go to someone who will be honest with you and help you sort out the situation. But it's like, you're like, where am I going? Where do I want to go? Where do I want to go from here? Sometimes you have to zoom out, because when you're in a situation, it's hard to see, like, it's always been this way, it's always going to be this way. When you can zoom out and say, well, 2 years ago, it wasn't this way. And if it wasn't this way 2 years ago, it doesn't mean it always has to be that way, because things changed over the last 2 years. They can change in a different way. And focus on like where you want to go, instead of so much in the moment. Try to get your head out of some, again, when we're in a situation, it can just feel all consuming. And look, she's all tied up in something. In some situations, just it can have a way of just permeating your whole life. And it's like, no, come on, there are more things in my life. There are more things about me. Let's look at the big picture. What's going on with my career? What's going on with my family? What's going on with my friends? What's going on with my health? Where do I want to live? What are my hobbies? And start focusing on other things, and help, again, bringing things into perspective. You have this beautiful Empress right in the middle with the star, so that's healing. And it's like, I'm good on my own. Like, I'm grounded. She's Mother Earth. She's solid. She's grounded. She gives birth to things. It's like, it's time to move on. Start a fresh page in some area. I feel like your creativity wants to get out. You may do some art, poetry, writing. You may want to start a business. So whatever you like, maybe this wrapping up of some cycle, you have the opportunity now to think, okay, what do I want to do now? And really it's looking at it with fresh eyes. Just because you thought once you got out of college you were going to do this exact thing, well, take time to consider all the possibilities. Just because that's what you thought doesn't mean you are locked into that for the rest of your life. And maybe that was it. Maybe you were like, I'm on this path and I don't know. I feel like I have to stay on this path because I went to school to become a lawyer and I don't want to be a lawyer anymore. Well, now's the time to nurture and figure out what you want to do. Don't stay stuck in something and get in deeper if it's not really what you really, really, really want to do. So, some decisions I guess I'm seeing to be made. Like, do you want to keep denying something, or do you want to deal with it and be able to move forward? So thank you so much, Leo, for watching, and I hope you have a lovely month. Take care.